What you said there was really nice. I mean, you really know why you're doing what you're doing, don't you?
Exactly, because I've experienced it. I mean, the best thing I suggest to people is if you've gone through a certain experience, and in particular, if it's been like an uncomfortable or a bad experience, like you've been through a bit of a mess, why not turn your mess into your mission?
Yeah, that's wise.
Yes, and people can relate because you know what they're going through. You've experienced those emotions, so you connect better with people. It's not like you're talking from a textbook. You actually understand people. You know what they're going through. You know what they need, and it makes it easier and better for the person getting the help.
Yeah, I just referred somebody, a gal contacted me, 40 something lady. And so I listened to her for a while and I said, I know a gal probably who specializes in what you're going through. That was like 2 days ago. And I just got a text saying, oh, thank you. She's amazing. And, people think that their problem is like nobody else knows what it is.
Yes, exactly. It can be
They-
lonely.
They're the only ones. And they're always shocked when they find out that those of us who've been down that road can say, yeah, we know what you're going through. Maybe not exactly, but pretty close.
Yes, and that's comforting. That kind of gives you
Yes.
a bit of hope. Otherwise, like you said, you start feeling alone, and when you start feeling alone, I think you go backwards, you go down, you can get depressed, and then think worst case scenario, you think there's no solution here on this planet. I might as well just end it all. I'd rather get out of this pain by ending it all, which is sad.
It's very sad. And we know people, the 40s are especially hard, as you know.
Yes,
That's when that's when you think, well, I should be. I mean, it looks like I'm doing better, but how come I have this weird? What's your theory on that? Why do you think that the 40 somethings, especially the guys or the gals that are doing pretty well for themselves, are always the ones who contact us? What do you think? What do you think is up with that?
yeah. I've actually thought about this for a while,
Mm,
and yeah, you're talking about the middle age, the midlife crisis, so to speak. Well, I like to, when I explain this to people, I like to draw a little bit of a graph. See,
please.
you may have seen the happy curve, the happiness curve. I don't know if you've heard of the happiness curve, where when you're a youngster, you tend to be pretty happy because I guess you've got a lot of time on your hands. You've got someone, like usually you've got parents that look after you. You don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry about shelter. So you're kind of happy. You've got plenty of time. And then what happens is you start, going to school and then graduating, getting a job, and life starts becoming busier. So what happens is you end up losing time. And I think having time is one of the ingredients to a happy life. When you feel like you've got no time, it's like you've lost your free will. And being a spiritual person, God gave us free will. So by us selling our free will, our time to get money, which is understandable because when you're young, you've got time, you've got no money. So you trade your time for money. And you go through this midlife where you're kind of just like a robot going through the motions, surviving, getting money, putting food on the table, feeding your kids, put your kids through education. And you start wondering, is this all there is? And it feels like you're not growing. And when you're not growing, you don't feel alive. So it's important to keep growing. That's one of the reasons I changed careers is because I felt like I wasn't growing. And that dead feeling is not good. So when you come out of midlife, you end up basically having more time in a sense because your kids might be off your hands, the empty nest, or you might retire. You've got more time. And when you're generally older, like myself, you start thinking more about purpose. So having time and purpose, I think that's the two ingredients for happiness and feeling like you're contributing. That's also contributes to happiness. So that's my theory why, you have this sort of dip at midlife because when you're older, you do have less time left, but you generally have some money and you can use money to delegate to buy more time.
Yeah.
And like I said, and if you have a bit of a purpose, you end up being happier when you're older, even though a lot of people uh, don't think that. But when you look at the research, it is like a smile. Your life's like a smile and it does dip
Yeah.
in the middle.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade being almost 70 for being 40 at all. I mean, I'm much happier now than I ever was. And
Yeah.
everything we know about aging is wrong,
Yeah,
so
that's right. I used to think aging was like
horrible.
it's all downhill, but it's not all downhill. Like I've got an older brother who's retired and he's the happiest he's been. He does volunteer work, he's got free time. It's like he's got his free will back that God gave him. So he can do what he wants, when he wants, with whom he wants. I mean, to me, that's the greatest gift. If you love someone, the best thing you can give them is free will. I know it's easier said than done, especially when you're a parent because you try and control your children, you want the best for them. But giving them free will when they're an adult is probably the best thing overall.
I totally agree with you. So